You are ready.
Okay, welcome to our pitch night. This is Law, Justice, and Social Sciences. My name is Paulicia Bender. You guys have met me. I am the liaison to Arts and Sciences Humanities as well as AP Design. We're going to start tonight with St. Francis Ministries. Each employer is going to give you guys about a 5 to 7 minute pitch on what their company is, what they do, opportunities that are open with that company. After all of our companies have had a chance, our reps have had a chance to go through their pitches, we'll be separating them into breakout rooms where you guys, the students, will be able to go into each room to ask questions or have little chats with our representatives. You are able to move from room to room. So when you're done talking to one rep, it is okay to ask to go into another or to go into another breakout room. We're going to be starting tonight with Candace Hill. She is with St. Francis Ministries. Candace, you have the floor.
Yay, I get to go first. That's awesome. So I am the human resource recruiter with St. Francis Ministries. I've been at St. Francis for about a year. I do have a background in criminal justice. I've worked for the state and the county. So if any of the students have questions, I can answer some questions about those areas as well. What St. Francis does, we are a foster care and adoption organization, basically a social service organization that works with children and families who are in the foster care and adoption system. So our main mission is providing healing and hope to children and families. And we're trying to transform lives that are in the system, or what we call the system. So our three priorities are prevention. We have in-home services, such as seeking safety and family preservation. We have community-based services like fatherhood and job support, outpatient behavioral health as well. Some of our out-of-home priorities are reintegration. What reintegration is for those children who are not able to go back home with parents. We find, no, excuse me, that's a mistake. Those who are able to go back home with their parents, we help the family with resources to make sure that that transfer back home is as good as possible. We also have adoption services. Those are for children who are not able to go back home. We provide them with a forever family, or we provide them with alternative resources so that they can have a stable environment. And then lastly, we have independent living for those who age out of the foster care adoption system when they turn 18. We work with those who are 18 through 24. We also work with those with intellectual and other disabilities or barriers and through that independent living program so that they can find some type of stability once they age out of the system. We also have resource home sponsorship in our foster care homes, kinship homes, and therapeutic foster care programs as well. I can go into details about those if any of the students are interested. And then one of the things that we're focusing on is our practicum students. So if you come on as a practicum student, which is basically the same thing as an internship, you will work in either reintegration or adoption. You will work under a licensed professional, and they'll help you navigate that practicum program and answer any questions that you may have. A lot of our practicum students, once they've graduated, they apply and become full-time employees with St. Francis Ministries. Some of our practicums are paid and some are non-paid. It just varies on the program. Some of the degrees that we accept here at St. Francis, of course, is social work, community counseling, human development, child and family development, applied family and youth studies, public health, health sciences, trauma studies, sociology, of course, and any type of social services degree, as well as substance abuse or addictions counseling degree. And we also have a lot of teachers or parents who come in with an educational early childhood development background as well. And I can answer if we do have some exceptions to some of those degrees. So if there's any questions about that, we will, I can definitely answer your questions about that as well. And I was prepared for 5 minutes, so that's all I have, for now, unless anybody has questions now.
Well, thank you so much, Candace. We appreciate you sharing that information. So for those of you who are interested in those opportunities, make sure you guys look for Candace in the St. Francis breakout room. And it'll be wonderful for you guys to be able to ask a little bit more in-depth questions. So the next employer that we have coming to present about their business and opportunities is Big Lakes Development Center. And we have Lugene Lutz. Is it Lutz? Lutz?
It's Lutz.
Lutz. I had it right. Okay, I was making sure. And Lugene is going to talk to you about some of the different areas that you can get involved and engage with Big Lakes to get some experience under your belt. Take it away, Lugene.
All right, thank you. Yes, I'm the HR director here at Big Lakes. I've been with Big Lakes for 30 years. I started off doing direct support within our group homes and then moved into other areas, and have a little slideshow just to kind of help guide, because otherwise I have a tendency to go way off. So let's see. Let's hope it worked. It worked a minute ago. Can everybody see it?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So we are really excited. We just launched our new website. Oh, goodness gracious. It is still an infant. It was just launched last week. So I kind of robbed from that to get a lot of these great pictures for the individuals that we support. We support adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and we do that in a 4-county area of Riley, Clay, and Pottawatomie counties. And we've been doing that since 1973. Our mission is about promoting choice, independence, and inclusion. And we strongly believe that everyone should live the most full and meaningful life. And then we strive. Our values are about, that strive piece, which stands for support, teamwork, respect, integrity, valor, and enthusiasm. Kind of the ways that people can get involved. We've got a couple of different ways that we're supporting the individuals. We have a day services program, and with that, it's helping them achieve that self-respect and self-sufficiency. And as you can see, we have a whole bunch of different areas, men's that are going to be here at our main center over on Hayes Drive are going to be working with, increasing their social skills, their leisure skills, work skills. We also have a farm just outside of Manhattan where we're growing all kinds of things. One of the things that they started growing was loofah. Didn't know you grew it. I thought you just bought it at a store, but evidently it is a plant. So we get some education as well. We also have a retirement program, life enrichment. Our program Without Walls, basically that allows the individuals to move from activity to activity. We also offer center-based employment, work group services. We have some crews that go out into local businesses in the Manhattan area with one of our staff, so they're developing their skills, so then eventually they can transfer those skills into community employment services. Residential, we've got 3 different levels of that. You may have driven by one of our group homes and didn't even realize it, because we really pride ourselves on our group homes looking like any other group home in any other neighborhood. I did put the video up here, but I wasn't sure if I'd have enough time because I didn't time myself. So, but it's also on our website. We've got different levels of that. And, staff are going in and assisting the clients with not being in an institution, not being within the family home, but kind of having their own independence. And we help them as far as growing into further independence. Additional services that we have are going to be the health services, case management, and transportation. Health services, we have an RN, 2 LPNs, and then nursing assistants. Case management, quite a few of our case managers actually started off doing direct support work, which is what the day services and the residential do. And what's great about that is they have an understanding of our programs, but then once they have that degree, then they already have that 6-month experience, which is required to be a case manager of relevant experience, and can kind of transition into that piece of it. So there are some great opportunities for that. And, it's kind of our little plug on this. It's Strive because it's more than just a job, it's a career where we're making a difference, making that impact on individuals. We have a number of people who have been with us for many years, if not for their full career. But we pride ourselves on building positive, lasting relationships with the individuals that we support, as well as with each other, and encouraging that growth and development. And we've got paid training, different shifts and such. But to kind of keep with the timeline of everything, we'll go ahead and close out, but I look forward to seeing you in one of our breakout sessions.
Looks like you're muted, Policia.
Thank you, Anthony. I just wanted to thank you for that, Lugene. Once again, if you guys have any questions, write them down or keep them in mind for our breakout session afterwards. Next, we will have the City of Manhattan, Kansas Parks and Recreation. And rep with us today is Joseph Calloway. Joseph, take it away.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, or I guess now at this point, good evening. I did have a couple of slides ready, but it seems like my computer had different ideas today. So I will just be going over some of that stuff. Hopefully I will not have any connection issues. If I do, I want to go ahead and apologize for that. So again, my name is Joseph Calloway. I am the Educational Recreational Supervisor for the City of Manhattan Parks and Rec Department. I know that's a mouthful. Basically, what that means is that everything that is not sports, I am directly in charge of. And so we really want to talk today about some of the social science programs that we have available and some of the positions that we have for those programs. So the main one right now is the Little Apple Day Camp. It is by far one of our biggest programs that we offer. Chances are, if you've lived in Manhattan for any length of time, you either have participated in the program yourself or you know someone who has participated in the past. Basically, it is a chance for parents who work long hours to provide childcare for their children during the months where school is typically closed. So in that May to early August timeframe, it allows them to have reliable, good childcare for their children. So the sessions we have are 2 sessions. Those sessions run from May 28th to June 28th, and then from July 8th to August 2nd. For people that are interested in those positions, there are a couple of things that we have available, and depending kind of on where your mind is at or what classes you're taking or what you're interested in, you might be interested in one or the other. So if you are more interested in administrative type roles, you might want to lean more towards the director position, where you're going to be basically in a upper level administrator role responsible for the running of the camp. And then it trickles down from there, going all the way down to the assistant group leads that are going to be directly dealing with children. Now, the reason why a program like this might interest you is if you are thinking about doing something in education, early childhood, or something of that nature, and you want to be able to build experience or work in that field directly, you can go ahead and do that through the Little Apple Daycare program. You can get hours for students that are working during the summer. It could be up to 40 hours a week, possibly even overtime. It is a great way for students, particularly coming off of spring break. Maybe you spent a little too much money during spring break and you are trying to recoup a little bit. It gives you the ability to come in, work, and gain experience in the field. The City of Manhattan has several positions that are available right now. It's not just the Little Apple Daycare, or it's not just any one program. We actually have a lot of stuff that is available right now. So if you are interested in that, definitely go onto our website. It's mhkprd.com, where you can find a lot of that information. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Joseph. We appreciate you taking time and sharing with our students. All right, so our next company and agency is one that I am just personally a fan of. Not trying to be favoritist, but I did used to work there. And so the Crisis Center Inc. does such great work for survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, all of that in our community. And we have the wonderful Randy Stout here to talk about opportunities to engage with them. So Randy, please come and share this valuable information with these students because I love y'all.
Thanks for that nice intro. I'm Randy. I run the Police Response Advocate program here in Riley County. We also have a sister program in Junction City. We are the local domestic violence and sexual assault victims advocacy agency. We respond 24/7 to all domestic violence 911 calls and sexual assault calls. We're also available 24/7 for anyone who wants to just reach out on their own as well. I would say our first and foremost, our number one duty is safety planning above all. We get in there, make sure that they're going to be safe for that immediate time period, whether that means helping them get to somewhere else or having them come into our shelter. It looks different for everyone, but we just want to get in there, make sure that they're safe, and then start in on the mass amount of work it is to start over, really. We offer personal advocacy as a big chunk of what we do, and that can look like many, many different things. That can be talking with an employer to say, hey, maybe this position isn't really necessarily safe for this person. Is there somewhere else they can go? Or maybe they need a little bit of time off for court. Whatever it happens to look like, we can speak with their employer and kind of fill them in on how these things work and how we can be helpful in those situations and find out what they are willing to do and help with. That can also be a matter of housing. Sometimes they need to get out of the place they're in with an abuser. We can help with applying the Kansas state statutes that are in existence for protection for victims. We can do just about anything. Personal advocacy covers a lot. It could be going to an RCPD interview with them or helping them to report the initial incident, whether that be sexual assault or domestic violence. Like I said, we have somebody on call 24/7. That can also look like even advocating for them with disability or DCF or St. Francis or a lot of the partners that we have here tonight. We work with many, many different community resources. We also have support groups available for anyone who is interested in any way. We have both the sexual assault group victim and the domestic violence group as well. So either or both, anybody's allowed to and welcome to join. We also run the Kansas statewide hotline for the whole state. So if anyone looks up, Google's domestic violence Kansas, that hotline number is going to pop up. If they call us, we'll be able to link them with resources in whatever particular area they're in at that moment. Or even if they maybe need to come into our area, that's when we start to assess how can we be helpful if they're headed towards us. We do a lot of protection orders, both protection from stalking and sexual assault, human trafficking, as well as protection from abuse orders. Those are almost a daily thing for a lot of us advocates. We know the ins and outs of those processes and paperwork and all of those things. We do help with a lot of that, including not just getting the order, but walking them through the whole process of the paperwork and going to court, and if attorneys are involved and what the other party is doing. It can get complicated quickly, but we can help with all of that. We also can even provide things as simple as food and hygiene items and diapers and formula, just the daily necessities of what people need to survive when sometimes they don't have any support whatsoever. We do a lot of criminal court as well, both for victims that have reported to police and gone through that process to get to that point. Sometimes they have to testify. Sometimes it's a matter of a victim impact statement. There's lots of different things that a criminal court advocacy can look like, but again, we kind of run the gamut of support for those things. We also do a ton of work really with outside agencies. So the benefits of an internship or a volunteer position, or really any position at the crisis centers, you're going to get a lot of experience with a ton of different agencies in Manhattan. And that can be, like I said, DCF, it could be the Housing Authority, it could be resources like Fairy Godmothers and Shepherd's Crossing and Salvation Army. We can really not only give them the resources they need, but walk them through the process of what it really takes to get those, because sometimes that can be complicated and overwhelming. And since we do those daily, we can sort of simplify and take some of that weight off of the clientele. I personally run the Police Response Advocacy Program, which obviously I'm a little biased, but pretty proud of. We respond 24/7 to any domestic violence 911 call made in Riley County. So if a domestic violence call comes into 911, they then dispatch the police response advocate. They get on scene, they are allowed, the police actually offer our services to anyone on scene. That way, if they do accept, we can get in and safety plan immediately, but also schedule for a follow-up and make sure that we can be supportive in every way that we can, not just immediately on scene. We also do sexual assault on call. So we also have an advocate available. If there's a sexual assault call that comes into Riley County, they notify us and we make ourselves available, whether that be on scene or at the hospital, whatever that happens to look like. We will respond and get them whatever kind of support they want or need in that time. So I, of course, biased, but I think the crisis center is a really good place to intern, to volunteer, because you do get just a huge variety of experience, not only in direct client services, but all the other things that this kind of work entails, which can be just about anything, really. I think that's about all I have, unless anybody has questions.
Thank you, Randy, so much.
Of course.
And the next employer coming up, Rep. Ben Gardner. He's with the people I try to avoid at least once a week. Kansas Highway Patrol. It is your turn, Trooper Ben.
Okay, hello, it's Trooper Ben. Thank you for inviting me to be at this thing. We're going to take this to the next level, people. We're going to get excited. I'm excited about being a state trooper, and you should too. The patrol needs a lot of different individuals. I've been a trooper for 25 years, and I enjoy going to work. I fear the day that I retire from the Kansas Highway Patrol, and there's not many jobs out there where you fear retirement, but being a part of the Kansas Highway Patrol, really, that's what it is. We need troopers, we need dispatchers, we need legal staff, we need support staff, clerical staff. I mean, we need a lot of different things. We always default to troopers out there. You know, for me, what I would say to you is that the Highway Patrol provides you not just with a paycheck, but the patrol provides you with a purpose, a purposeful, engaging, rewarding career, one that, just as I said, you find yourself fearful of retiring. You know, yesterday I was dealing with an ever-changing day, and that's what's so good about being a state trooper with the patrol, is that every day is different. Yesterday I was working a fatal. Then right after that, I helped install a car seat with a mother that was needing help because she was concerned about her first child going home from the hospital, and then worked the road for a little bit, making our roadways safe. The patrol, and being a trooper in particular, gives you a chance to, I don't know, just have a different day every day, and it's rewarding. So that's really what I want to say. I'm not going to extend this any longer. Look to me in this breakout session afterwards if you want to learn more about this uniform, about the patch, about the Kansas Highway Patrol, and I will be there to answer any questions and further your journey and wherever you want to go. So thank you for inviting me.
Yay, Trooper Ben. Where are you located right now? About right? No,
I know, that's it. So I'm near Salina right now, and anybody that gets in my little session and wants to talk to me, I'm going to take a little note. And if I ever stop you in the future, I'm going to give you a warning, just so you know. I'm going to be like, hey, you get a warning. So it's a good opportunity to interact with me and talk further.
Just give my husband a ticket. He can't drive.
Thank
Let
you,
me
guys.
just say this for anybody, if y'all have never interacted with Trooper Ben, he is a hot mess. He will have you cracking up. And he gonna shenanigate a little bit, but he gonna make sure you get the information, training, and whatever it is that you need. So that's gonna be a fun car to be in. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
put that out there. So
It is. I appreciate that. I mean, I really want to be real, honest, and open. I'm going to be Meal, and you're going to have me as I am, or you're not going to
Yep.
have me as at all. So, thank you for again inviting me, and I really look forward to talking to anybody else that wants to talk further about their career path, maybe with the patrol.
oh, I love it. Okay, let me get off of that. I want to come ride along in your car.
That's
'Cause
right.
you the best. Whenever you come to events, I always got to stop and talk to Trooper Ben. Okay, let me get off Trooper Ben and move on to our next employer. Our next employer is coming to you guys from Kansas Legal Services. And Kansas Legal Services is actually an organization that when I don't know if Kansas or if you guys are still working with them quite a bit, but when I worked at the crisis center, we stayed referring people to Kansas Legal Services because they will often help a lot of marginalized populations access services that they might not have been able to afford before. And so I am going to get off my little soapbox and let our representative, Corinne Petrick, talk to you guys a little bit about the opportunities they have there and give you guys a little more details about what it is that they do. So, Ms. Corinne?
Thank you so much. My name is Corinne Petrick. I'm an attorney at Kansas Legal Services. And let me see if I can bring up my PowerPoint here. All right, are you seeing a screen? Hopefully so. Thank you. Kansas Legal Services is a nonprofit law firm here in the state of Kansas. We are here to help those who have low and moderate incomes and those that are in vulnerable populations. We are legal aid in Kansas, is another way of looking at it. We provide free legal services and low-cost legal services as well in certain circumstances. Our services are geared towards civil legal needs that would assist in housing stability, income stability, and safety. Now, within all of this, we are a statewide organization. We have somewhere around 45 attorneys across the state in 11 different offices. We also provide mediation services from Kansas Legal Services as well. And our offices, again, we try to reach a lot of the areas. While we may not have an office in every county, we do have an office that utilizes their services in every county in the state of Kansas. Our application is done through a central intake process through our Wichita office, and it can also be done online. We have a variety of different types of jobs that are available through Kansas Legal Services. And of course, the ones that we most think about would be attorneys. We have attorneys that have passed the bar in the state of Kansas. To do so, they also need a Juris Doctor from a university. We also have paralegals that work on staff. And with our paralegals, they may or may not have specific training. That these would be the support staff that would help to assist in client intake with of course, drafting documents and doing legal research. We have legal secretaries that are involved. We have social workers that work for us. And then we do have an administration office that has researchers, accountants, people who draft grants specifically for our charitable purposes. Now, within all of that, we also have interns for our offices. In our Manhattan office, we have an internship program that would require about 5 to 10 hours a week during each semester. And we try to focus on getting each person who is an intern a good basis within 4 aspects. Those aspects would be able to shadow an attorney to any kind of court hearing, to assist in document preparation and see how the preparation of a document ties in with the law as the basis of that document. Each intern will have the ability and opportunity to conduct an applicant interview and see how they are able to use the questions that they ask to see what legal problems may come up from that issue. As well, each intern will complete a project during the span of the internship that they will be able to take with them and show as a product of their work here. And so we are very happy to have both interns and, of course, our staff that are able to work here. I've been here for about 16 years almost. I'm in an office that has someone who's worked here for 30 years and another person for 26 years. So we love that our mission is here to help those who would otherwise not be able to get help. It's very rewarding work, sometimes frustrating, but always fun.
Make sure I'm unmuted here. Thank you, Corinne.
Thank you.
And I would say we're saving the best for last, but all of our employers and reps have been pretty amazing tonight. Thank you guys for coming. We now have, last but not least, Andrew and Kyle from the Kansas State University Police Department.
Hey, good evening, guys. I'm Captain Andrew Moeller. With me is Sergeant Kyle Casey. We are with the K-State Police Department. We've got some slides to show you and give you some information about the K-State PD. Let's get that going. All right, so I'll go ahead and answer the question that everybody is always too scared to ask. Yes, we are real police officers. Our officers go to the Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center, which is where most local and county officers go for their basic training. And they receive their certifications from the Kansas Commission on Peace Officers Standards and Training. We recently, just a little less than a year ago, moved to a new facility. We're located in the Huffman Stonehouse at 1701 North Manhattan Avenue. If you guys know where the Derby complex is, it is directly north of there across the large residential lot. You do have to access us through the lot, but we're pretty apparent and we're working on getting even more signage up so we're easier to find. And we actually just celebrated our 40th anniversary. We became a police department in 1983. Before that, we had law enforcement officers on campus, but they worked under the title of traffic and safety. So some of the career opportunities for sworn personnel, meaning actual law enforcement officers, are obviously a patrol officer, but then we also have investigations opportunities as detectives. Community resource officers, who works at kind of a hybrid position, working minor investigations, but then also giving classes to our community, mostly on campus, but we also go off campus quite a bit. One of those classes that we offer is ALICE. So we have a number of ALICE instructors. It's a run, hide, fight, response to active violence class that we put on for the community. We also have drone pilots. We have a drone program. Sergeant Casey is a drone pilot. We also have 2 spots on Riley County's ERU or SWAT team. We have only one of those positions filled right now, so we're actually looking for a second person to be on that team. And then being a campus, bikes are a great way to get around campus, and so we have certified bike officers. You go to a fairly lengthy school to get certified on that, but most officers end up really enjoying it. And then, of course, we have field training officers who train our new officers, and we kind of look at as our next level up from our patrol officers. We also have non-sworn personnel, including our communication specialists or dispatchers. We also have security officer positions. Those are uniformed officers, but they're not sworn, so they wear a different uniform than our officers. It's like a tan and brown, and they do a lot of foot patrol, especially in the evening around campus, and are kind of our eyes and ears. We also have a police administrative assistant who, don't tell her, but I always tell people, actually runs the whole department. It's very interesting work, and kind of like Trooper Ben said, every day for her is a little different, thanks to us. And then we also have student positions, both student security and student dispatchers. you can see one of our student dispatchers in this picture here, who I believe is attending the event tonight. Some of the benefits of becoming an officer or another position here is if you were an officer, you are entitled to the Kansas Police and Fire Retirement Program, which is an excellent state retirement program, better than most retirement programs that you'll find. One of my favorites is the tuition assistance program, which is a grant actually, and that allows you to have 3 credit hours per semester for yourself that are free of charge, and your dependents, meaning spouse, children, or other dependents, are entitled up to 7 credit hours a semester for free. We've had some officers utilize this, and they came to us with 1 degree and now have 3. We have people that work on their master's degree while they're working for us. Health insurance with K-State PD is the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Kansas. They offer a variety of packages, including HSAs and investment options. And then in the picture here is our gym. It has fairly new equipment, and we try to add new equipment and other options every year. There's also, you can see the windows there in the reflection of the mirrors. There's an outdoor area to work out also, which is semi-private. Officers are entitled to use 1 hour of their 12-hour shift to exercise. So we'll pay you to get some exercise. Some of the services provided by the police department, obviously, patrol is our primary function. So you'll see us around campus in our Ford Explorer Interceptors. But we also use bicycles that I talked about earlier. We encourage our officers to get out on foot, especially in those high traffic areas like the Union, make themselves available to the students and the community. And then you can see Willie over here in one of our UTVs. And we also have a golf cart that I like to cruise around on also and pretend I'm on the golf course. I talked about our investigations earlier. So our primary function is to investigate crimes that occur on campus, but also university-owned property, and that can take us actually all over the county. We also provide safety escorts known as Wildcat Walks. That's generally our security officers, but when they're not available, our police officers do that as well. We also provide some of those classes for the community that I talked about earlier. Theft prevention training is one of our most popular ones, along with the ALICE. But we'll work with any group to kind of tailor training for what their needs are. And then probably our most popular one is our impaired and distracted driver workshop. And that involves students getting to put on drunk goggles, as they call them, and then do things like play beer pong or cornhole, or even drive that golf cart that I talked about earlier, which is a lot of fun for them and absolutely terrifying for us. Training is big. I am our training coordinator. You'll get 40 hours minimum training per year. But if you were to take advantage of all the opportunities that we offer, you could have well over 100 hours, including specialized training. I encourage all of our officers to come to me with new ideas and tell me why this training is important for their career and important for the police department and the community that we serve. Obviously, all of this is at no cost to the officers. The department incurs all of that. We try to put on a lot of training in-house in our facility, but we also look to outside agencies and also invite outside agencies to train with us, both here and at their facility. Over to the right in the picture, you can see firearms training, which is mandated by the state that we do. Some of the things that I'm most proud of in our training program are actually things like verbal de-escalation. Sergeant Casey is an instructor in that. Our trauma-informed interactions, and our CIT program, which is Crisis Intervention Team, which specializes in dealing with people who are having mental and emotional crises and they need help, and connecting them with resources. We're big on community outreach. We love K-State. We love Manhattan. We like to get out there. Most events, large-scale events at K-State, we're going to be there in one way or another. We also go to things off campus. National Night Out down in City Park. We go to that, try to get to that every year. We host field trips from daycares. We go to the Pancake Feed every year at Full Stadium. And then you can see our chief and President Linton there. That was during his inauguration. And a lot of people ask me, how did you get into K-State PD and why are you still there? actually had my name out there or had applications out to multiple different law enforcement agencies and was in the hiring process for 2 of them that I narrowed it down to when I was recruited by a former captain here. That was 20 years ago. When I first got on, I thought I'd be here for 2 years and leave. But frankly, I kind of fell in love with this type of law enforcement. And the reason I'm still here is because of a lot of the people that you see up in the photos there. It really has a family feel to it. And we've all got each other's backs. We all love K-State, and that's what's kept me there. Thanks for your time, guys. And I hope to see you in our breakout room.
Thank you, Andrew. That was very informative. I've seen Hoffman Stonehouse has gone from enforcing good behavior in toddlers to enforcing the law. So glad they put that building to great use. Okay, now we're going to go out and go into the breakout rooms. Students, guests, if you guys want to start out in the room of your choice, and then feel free when you're done to bounce around. Any questions or comments from anyone, my colleagues?